we shall savor the life, teachings and inspirations from a great saint from Maharashtra, Sant Tukaram. Sant Tukaram made his own style of compositions and singing them. These are called Abhangas. So his Abhangas are famous, they continue till today. He wrote about 4,000 Abhangas, in which he encapsulated the relevant knowledge of the scriptures. In most of the cases of the saints, we see that they grew up in scholarly families, and while growing up, they had the opportunity to imbibe Vedic knowledge. In the case of Tukaram, it was primarily blessings. The ability to compose devotional poetry was given by Vitthal Bhagwan, and the instruction to propagate the chanting of the names of God. So, this created the foundation for the Warkari Sampradaya. And the Warkari Sampradaya is extremely popular, particularly in western Maharashtra. They simply chant the names of God while dancing, going on long parikramas. Sant Tukaram's emphasis was, you don't need to leave household life. What is important is the inner connection. There are so many rituals in the Vedas, but don't get entangled in them. You have to cultivate Bhakti in your heart. So the simplest and straightforward way of cultivating Bhakti is the threefold process. Chant, hear and remember. So Sant Tukaram took the tradition of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from Bengal and Odisha and implanted it in Maharashtra, a tradition that has continued and grown so much today that the Warkari Sampradaya is the most popular in the whole state. So alongside, he would explain the simple spiritual truths, and that annoyed some of the caste Brahmins. They felt that who is this? He is not a Brahman. What is his entitlement to explaining the scriptures? One of the characteristics of the medieval age was that the less accessible Sanskrit scriptures were put into common dialect by these Bhakti saints. So Tukaram was doing the same in Marathi, and the Brahmins were annoyed. The leader amongst them was Rameshwar Bhatt. He accused him of committing sacrilege against the name of the scriptures without being a Brahman trying to teach their meanings. And Tukaram said, if God is not unhappy with what I am doing, why are you unhappy? So Rameshwar Bhatt said, what do you mean? How do you know that God is not unhappy? Tukaram said, what I am doing, I don't have any capacity to do it. It is God, Vitthal, who is giving me the power to compose this poetry. Rameshwar Bhatt disagreed. All the Brahmins got together and said, you have committed a transgression. The poor Tukaram was simple-minded. He did not have sophisticated worldly wisdom. That was his unique trait, extremely simple. Ved Vyas says in the Bhagavatam, two kinds of people can easily attain God. Yascha moodha tamo loke, yascha buddhe parangata. Either be completely stupid, like Ratnakar Guruji said, say mara mara, all right Guruji. Or be beyond the intellect to understand divine topics. Tav bhav sukh me dethe klishyatyantare jana. The in-between, Shabdik Gyanis, theoretical pundits, they are the ones who always remain confused. Because the material intellect cannot understand divine topics. So Tukaram Maharaj, in his simple way, he said, God is making me right. Now they all accused him. He said, maybe these scholarly Brahmins may be right. So he said, what is my praischat? Rameshwar Bhatt said, take these Abhangas you have composed and throw it in the Yani river. If they are actually inspired by God, they will be found and brought back to you. Tukaram threw them into the river. But he felt that he had lost all his devotional work, and that made his heart bleed. So he just started crying and crying on the bank of the river that, oh God, my works were not sanctioned by you. I have actually committed an offense. 13 days went by. Somebody discovered the Abhangas floating in the Indrayani river, lifted them out, recognized them and brought them back to Tukaram. Now there are two versions of this story. This is the more popular version, and the more spectacular version says that on the 13th day, when the priest, he opened the temple door, Tukaram's Abhangas were on the deity's head. So nevertheless, now when the Abhangas came back, it was complete proof that God had endorsed his works. Tukaram was thrilled because it meant that God's blessings were there on what he was doing. And it was pleasing to Bhagavan Vitthal. In fact, even the caste Brahmins, they started accepting him. And Rameshwar Bhatt felt regret on having opposed. And he came, apologized, and became a disciple of Tukaram. Now, Tukaram had the support of the people, and he was propagating Harinam Sankirtan and Bhakti. At that time, Shivaji Maharaj was a great Maratha ruler who was holding fort and preventing the Mughals from entering huge segments of the land. And he revered another contemporary saint of that time, Samarth Ramdas, as his spiritual mentor. And Samarth Ramdas guided Shivaji, go and do satsang of Tukaram Maharaj. So Shivaji would come to the satsang of Tukaram Maharaj and he would look on these two saints as his two eyes. So the story goes that once Shivaji Maharaj was sitting in the satsang and a Mughal commander got wind that Shivaji is in the satsang of the Saint Tukaram. So he sent 2,000 soldiers. Go, get him, this is the chance, kill him. There, Shivaji's army, they came to know, and they quietly came and informed him that the Mughal army is coming. You need to escape for your life. It was an Ekadashi day, very special satsang was going on. So he was taking leave from Sant Tukaram, and Tukaram said, no, keep sitting. All right. The Guru is saying, keep sitting, okay, keep sitting. So he got really worried now. So these soldiers, they looked around and looked around and looked around, and they could not find Shivaji. So they came and reported to the commander, we were not able to locate him in the satsang. The commander said, so what, go and kill them all. They came back. Now, the matter had turned serious. Well, all of a sudden, the 2,000 Mughal soldiers, they found Shivaji on a white horse take off from the satsang. And they said, "Oh my God, there he goes." And they all followed in hot pursuit for many, many kilometers, and then that horse rider just disappeared. So they went and reported to the Mughal commander. The Mughal commander could not understand how come 2,000 soldiers they could not get him. But Tukaram Maharaj, he then related that Pandurang himself had intervened to protect the devotees and to protect the satsang. So Shivaji Maharaj became a great devotee. Now another thing about Tukaram Maharaj was, he was completely uninterested in wealth. See, there are all kinds of saints. Some saints utilize wealth to promote the message of God. And there are other saints who keep the ideal of complete renunciation. That was the philosophy of Tukaram Maharaj. So Shivaji once came to him with gold, and moment he placed it, Tukaram Maharaj started shivering. And then he suddenly left. Shivaji said, "What happened?" The disciple said that you were offering the wealth, and he is averse to it. So Shivaji then went and spoke to him and said, "Look, when I am giving it, for you have the need, that is why I am giving it. You are so poor." Now, Tukaram Maharaj said that you are feeling pity on my situation because you know me since a few years. And Pandurang's relationship with me since many lifetimes. Don't you think he has more care for me than you? I am not interested. So he continued his prachar, and he would undertake huge pilgrimages all the way from Dehu to Pandharpur, a tradition that continues. It is worth seeing in Maharashtra the Kirtan tradition, and how from all over, it's one of the biggest states of India, from all over the state, the whole village gets up and goes together. 10 days, 15 days, 20 days, all the way to Pandharpur or to Dehu, just chanting Gyanoba, Tukaram, Rukmini, Vithoba, and then coming back. So much of faith, so much of bhakti, so much of devotion. So this was the legacy of Tukaram Maharaj. And his teachings were very simple. Don't get encumbered in unnecessarily mechanical practices. Just learn to love. Serve the poor and the downtrodden. Accept reversals as the grace of God.